Elizabeth, have you ever been to CMA Fest?
I have not, no.
The morning show's over, but they're still talking.
Elizabeth, do you have desire to go to CMA Fest?
Not necessarily, no.
It's Liz and Scotty's Poddy.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
A lot of people. Welcome to Liz and Scotty's Poddy, and CMA Fest was a couple weeks ago. I love the idea of CMA Fest. I don't necessarily want to go, but part of what I love about it is its history and how it's one of those things that just sets country music apart from any other kind of music. It's such a great example of the connection that artists and their fans have had through country music for years. It started as fanfare in Nashville like 50 years ago. There was actually a documentary on the 50th anniversary, which was a couple of years ago, and it was on Hulu, I believe. If you Google it, you can see it and kind of see the neat aspect of it. One of the legendary stories, this is part of where the Garth Brooks legend began, because Garth was an up-and-comer. He was a new artist, but he was starting to get a name for himself. He came to fanfare and signed autograph for like 32 hours in a row or 26 hours in a row, whatever it was.
Yeah, some astronomical number.
And that was kind of part of where the Garth legend began. But anyway, it's a neat thing for country music fans. We had a winner on the radio this week who had just gotten back from it, talking about it. Well, we have a friend, a couple of studios over, Stephanie Bell. Stephanie works for the Eagle, 93.9 The Eagle. She's on Wake Up, Missouri. She's also a lawyer. Well, she hollered at us the other day when she was leaving because she was going to go to CMA Fest. She had a friend of a friend type thing. But not only was she going to CMA Fest, but she had seat filler tickets. Well, that intrigued us. So we wanted to grab her when she got back just to tell us about CMA Fest and tell us about her seat filler ticket experience as well. Stephanie of the law firm
Ellinger Bell in Jefferson City.
Ellinger Bell in Jefferson City, and of Wake Up, Missouri on 939 The Eagle. And as she was walking out the building the other day, she said, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to CMA Fest." Which that got our attention. But then what also got our attention was that you got seat filler tickets.
Essentially, yes, I did. So I went for free. There are a lot of companies in Nashville and other big cities that you can register and get some tickets and be very close to the action.
Assuming that most people understand this, but for those that don't, a seat filler, they actually, I don't know if some of them they pay or they just pay with the tickets.
It's just the tickets,
okay,
I think.
Just the tickets. And these are people, if there is an award show or something that's on television, obviously they put all the stars at the front by the stage. But when the stars have had enough or go to get a cocktail or go to the bathroom, you don't want empty seats on TV. And so there is literally a line of people. Liz and I have seen this at some of the award shows we've been lucky enough to go to, that during a commercial break, you will see there'll be like a coordinator who says, "Okay, I need two," and they bring him down there and they put him in this seat. Generally, they're dressed really nice. Mm-hmm. They know that's part of the gig because they're there to be on TV. And if you talk to these people, sometimes you can get interesting stories about how they ended up next to some celebrity because the celebrity next to that celebrity got up to go. And it's just sort of an interesting phenomenon. So when you said that, I thought, okay, that's pretty interesting.
It was, and it was so cool to be there. I mean, Nissan Stadium, the entire stadium is sold out. Every seat's taken, and we get in line. Of course, we have to get there very early. We have seats over in the stadium, but half an hour before the concert, they march us right down front row of the stage. So an incredible experience. There were some rules, so they cared about what we were wearing, no logos, those kinds of things. You had to, no drinking. They did provide water for us, right?
Okay.
So that was helpful. And it was a long day of standing, but obviously being front row, I didn't get to meet anyone particular, but I did get to be right in the front. And of course, you know, the stars were right there high-fiving the audience, and they wanted you to be energetic and happy. But of course, you're front row for some of the best musicians. So everyone was super psyched to be there.
Right.
And so what was like one of your favorite performances that you had?
So we saw a bunch of different people, but two of the people that I'd really been looking forward to was the Red Clay Strays. I hadn't seen them in concert yet. I'm obsessed with their music. They did wonderfully. They sound just like the album. The music was just incredible. And then Jordan Davis. I know he's been in Mid-Missouri, but I missed the concert when he was in Columbia. So I've been waiting for a long time to see him. And of course, we closed it out with Rascal Flatts. So incredible for my millennial heart.
Yes, exactly.
This one would have been down there dancing with you for
I would have waited probably 10 hours just to see that. That's awesome.
Nissan Stadium, that's kind of like at CMA Fest, there's concerts all day, like kind of downtown. There's side stages and everything. This is like the big thing at night. And they have like 3 or 4 nights, don't they?
4 nights.
4 nights.
It goes, I think, Thursday through Sunday. And yeah, that was the nice part because while we were waiting in line outside Nissan Stadium, we could actually hear some of the other concerts happening. So I really love Tyler Braden. Would have loved to see him, but the timing didn't work out. But we actually could hear the concert while standing in line. So there's just music everywhere. Everyone's psyched to be there. It was a great night. And of course, it's going to air on television later in the month.
Yeah, so, ABC 17, I think.
So look for me.
Yeah.
And now that I consider myself a professional seat filler, I'm hoping next time you guys go to a big awards show, maybe I can show up and cheer you guys on in person.
There we go.
And you were saying there's rules when it comes to the award shows. You have to do an event before you can go and be approved for an award show?
Some of the bigger shows, yes. They want you to have been to an event before, I think, to make sure that you're not a crazy person, that you can conduct yourself professionally. So, yeah, I'm really excited. And I think now that I'm on the list, I consider myself a professional seat filler.
Yes.
Did you have to sign anything? Did you have a meeting beforehand, or how did that work?
I mean, there are terms and conditions, I think, when you register for the event, that, you agree to be respectful.
Now, you're a lawyer. Did you read all of those terms and conditions?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so again, it's a production, right? So they're looking for a particular thing. They want you to be energetic. They want you to love country music. It's their job to put on a good show for television, and that's what we were there to do. So I did feel a little bit of pressure.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I did, because you want to kind of. Obviously, I'm really into the music, but I don't know the words to every song. But we were clapping and bouncing around and having fun, and I mean, again, everyone there was super psyched and excited to be there. So I hope to do it again. We'll see.
How many seat fillers were there?
I would say maybe around 100.
Oh, wow.
Ish.
Okay.
Doing it like one of the award shows, it's kind of confined space. I wondered how they would do that. The stadium's going to be that much bigger, that much more room to fill. I wondered how many there would be.
Yeah, and we met other folks from Missouri who were there and had flown in for it and got on the list and came to the concert. So it was really, really exciting.
Yeah.
That's cool. What was downtown Nashville like just around CMA Fest? Was it, I guess Nashville's crazy every weekend, I guess, but was it just kind of a madhouse down there?
It was, but at the same time, we stopped in a couple of the shops, and it was a great morning to shop because they said people are so busy that they were, enjoying all the music. So they said actually some of the places that we wanted to go shop were a little bit slower that day because people were just doing all of the CMA Fest things. So it was nice.
Awesome. Anything else you can think of?
No, I just think that experience sounds so cool, fun, different, and like, what a way to see a concert, right? Right up front.
It's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And let us know if you're going to an award show, let us know. We have to try to work this out and get another update from you.
And I have to be there to cheer you on when you win.
Well,
It's so sweet.
we can only hope. That's great. Stephanie, thank you. Appreciate you just sharing that with us. That's fun little, I started to say backstage information, actually front stage information.
That's right. Yeah, look for me on TV.
I have to say, the more I think about it, the more I think you and I ought to talk to whoever we need to talk to and get on that list for seat filler tickets.
Okay, that sounds really fun.
That would just be an interesting experience, I think.
Don't tempt me with a good time because
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to
Well,
it.
my first thought was you doing it because I think you would enjoy it a lot more than I would. But I don't know. I might want to tag along with you. And, she's got the phone numbers. So
She does.
And we know some people at the CMA, so maybe we ought to find out about it. But it does sound like fun, doesn't it? Anyway, we appreciate Stephanie sharing a little time with us. Now, the next out-of-the-ordinary concert experience we wanted to hear a little bit about is with our friend Carrie Berkbuegler, who is our Director of Sales for Zimmer Communications. She's also a big-time Kenny Chesney fan, and she had an experience recently that we thought you would be interested in. Let's start with the fact that you love Kenny Chesney.
That would be an understatement.
Yeah. How many times?
I love Kenny Chesney.
Yeah. How many times have you seen him?
I don't know. Like,
Countless.
Yeah, definitely over 10, probably over 20. I mean, if he's coming, like, especially in this area, if he's coming to St. Louis and Kansas City, I will typically go to both shows. I prefer to see him at Arrowhead versus Busch Stadium, but, I mean, anytime that I can go see him within driving distance, I'm there.
And you have traveled to see him before, too, like distances, right?
Yeah, I think it was last year or 2 years ago whenever him and Kelsey Ballerini did, like, the hometown tour, and they went and did smaller venues, and I haven't seen Kenny in a small venue in a really long time, so I thought it would be a super special moment because I love small venues. And so my sister-in-law and I went to Indiana and saw that tour.
Oh, neat. Okay. So you went to see him at the Sphere.
I did.
So kind of, I don't even know where to start with that. Maybe you just start. What the Sphere, first of all, I think most people probably know, but if you don't, it's this newer attraction in Las Vegas, and it is just the ultimate new technology as far as a venue, and it's like a big globe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's almost kind of like an IMAX theater where you feel immersed into the video.
Okay. We've seen some of the pictures of it. It looks amazing. Can you how would you describe it? How are you telling your friends about what it was like?
I mean, first you just have to go see it because it's really hard to convey what you're actually experiencing if you don't actually go there. I mean, it was incredible. I will tell you things that I like, and then I'll tell you the things that maybe I didn't like.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So the venue itself was amazing. I love smaller venues. It was surprisingly a lot smaller than what I thought it was going to be. I don't think that there is a bad seat in the place, which I also love. The sound was probably the best sound of any concert, any venue I've ever been to. I mean, you could literally hear every word that they would say, every song. Like, I mean, the sound was probably one of my actual favorite parts, even outside of the visuals itself. Like, you just cannot compare the sound there. The visuals obviously were incredible. Like Liz said, when he was putting up the different scenes for each song, you legit felt like you were at the football, like you were sitting in the stands at the football game, or you were racing in a car down the racetrack when he was playing Living and Fast Forward.
So it's not just a screen in front of you. It is all.
It's almost like
360.
It's almost like 3/4 of the venue.
Okay.
I don't. If I remember right, I don't think it was like at the very back, but it like encircles you whenever you're in your seats.
Okay.
We sat in the 200 level, which I think was perfect because we weren't having to like look down or look up the whole time. You could pretty much look straight on and just, around and could see everything. But I would say probably the absolute best part of the entire show was the first 3 minutes, and that was before Kenny was out. That was before the band came out. They had this video that they played where you were basically underwater, and you felt like you were underwater, like in this boat with them. And as the video played, you would continue to move closer and closer up above the water, and then eventually you got above the water, you saw all of these ships, and you were moving closer, and as you got closer to shore, you saw that it was Vegas, and then you saw the Sphere, and then they put you in the Sphere. Like, I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Wow.
Like, it was so freaking cool. There's, like, little clips online that you can go, like, look at it, but I'm telling you, like, to convey what that actually felt like, everybody's jaws were, like, on the floor that night whenever he just opened the show that way, and then they all came on stage, and that's whenever the show started.
Well, okay, so that sounds like that was specifically made for the Sphere. Like the other videos and stuff that he would show during like his songs, were they the same videos that you've seen before on the front?
No, he had to completely redo his show.
Okay.
Because I've never done anything like this. So Sean Silva, who directed pretty much all of his videos almost, it was a large part of the video work that they did for this show, but everything was completely and totally brand new for this show. I've never seen anything at his no, he had like designs and stuff like that from like past, but as far as like what they created on these videos, they had to do it all over just because the Sphere is not like a venue that they've ever been in before.
With the new technology, get them in there and do some of that.
And the underwater scene, like your seats were like vibrating and like you were again like going up above the water. Like that was super cool.
That's neat.
That's awesome.
Should have had somebody like behind you with a spray bottle too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the salt air, the smell throughout the venue.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Now, you had pointed out, maybe this is what you're going to talk about, the things that you didn't like. You love a concert, and not just Kenny. You go see a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
But you like that atmosphere, and that's really not what this is, right?
Yeah. I probably didn't have like the right expectations going into I've never been to an IMAX theater. So I probably didn't have the right expectations. I think the majority of people that are going to this show or any show at the Sphere, especially for the first time, are going for the visuals. Like they're going to see how immersive the experience is. And to me, it wasn't like a normal Kenny concert. Like I was the only person standing in my entire level, like not my section, but the entire level, the whole entire show. I didn't sit down. I was up there just like rocking by myself. I felt like the stage itself was smaller. This is going to sound super random and weird, but I've never been to a show where Kenny has worn tennis shoes. Like he's always worn boots and he had tennis shoes on. I think almost for every show that he's done in Vegas so far. He is usually like wild, crazy person running around the stage like the entire concert. And he did a little bit of that because you do have floor seats. So he was engaging with those people, but nothing like I felt like a normal Kenny show. Yeah. I also feel, and I don't know if this is true, but I feel like the music was it was a little bit slower than a normal show, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm just making that up, but I definitely feel like it was just a tiny bit of a smaller like pace than the past shows that I've seen before.
Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong too. This venue, it goes up more than it goes out. So like.
Yes.
You feel like you're almost sitting on top of one another versus like being at the same level?
Yes. I personally didn't think it was as steep as what other people have said it was. Yes, it is, but I don't think it's like, to me, I didn't feel like if I looked down, I was going to fall and die.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's how some people explain it. And I don't think it was that at all. I will say though, if you're somebody that gets motion sickness, thankfully I took Dramamine with me.
Oh, man.
So I took one before the show started, and then as it was happening and I saw these videos, because they go so fast, because it really does make you feel like you're in it, and I'm like, oh dear Lord, I need to take another one. So I took 2 Dramamine that night and I was totally good. But I mean, especially if you're gonna stand up and you're like watching the videos and all that, if you tend to get motion sickness, you are definitely gonna want to take some Dramamine.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So if you were to say to somebody going to see Kenny for the first time, would you say go to a normal concert experience first and then go to the Sphere?
I think it depends what they're looking for. If they're looking to have an amazing time, like party, like be around the people that love Kenny and love concerts, I would go to a normal concert. If it's somebody that likes to enjoy the show but doesn't really like dancing or standing or anything like that, then I would go to this. I mean, either way, whatever you prefer, this is definitely something going to see. I'm very, very blessed that I'm very grateful that I was able to have that experience. But I don't know if I were to go back for that, I would probably get floor seats. And I've read a lot of people were getting like wherever they would sit the first night, if there were tickets available for the next night, then they'd flip-flop. They'd either do the seats and then the floor, or do the floor and then the seats, because it's a completely and totally different experience. Everybody that's been sitting in both spots, they've all said each one of those shows is a completely and totally different vibe compared to where you're sitting at.
What was it like? What was Kenny like on the stage? And I asked that because the Eagles did a run at the Sphere.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody, Vince Gill, who's playing with the Eagles now, he said it was so unlike anything he'd ever done. He said because nobody was paying attention to us.
Yeah.
Which Vince Gill is okay. He likes to be, especially when he's doing the Eagles stuff, he wants to be, he doesn't care if anybody knows who he is or not, because he's like a, fill-in, even though he's kind of a permanent one now. But he said it was like nobody was paying attention to the people on the stage, but they were okay. They going into it, they knew that, so they were okay with it. So how was Kenny like on the stage?
I mean, I think it was a little bit of that. He had mentioned it. I think it was in a video that I watched like before the show even started. Whenever he was running through everything, he was like, "I catch myself at rehearsal. I'm just like sitting there looking up at the screens and just watching. Like, this is so freaking cool." So, I mean, I think you still have to perform a little bit because you have all those people on the floor. And while, yes, they're looking at the screens too, I mean, like, the artist is right there. So I feel like you have to perform a little bit like what you would. But I think that, I don't know, it's just such a different experience compared to a normal show. It's just so different.
Did people tailgate like they do at a normal
It wasn't allowed
Kenny?
at Sphere.
Not allowed?
Oh, okay. How was getting in and out of the venue? Was that all right?
So we did, Kenny had Vibey was, I guess, the promoter. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but anyway, everything was through Vibey, and they had, like, hotel and concert package and thing like that. So that's what we did. And they were absolutely incredible. Like, they provided transportation to and from the hotel. They provided the concert tickets. Anywhere that you went, that was, because Kenny had a ton of stuff while you were there outside of the Sphere show, like all the experience stuff we can talk about too. But, like, anywhere that there was anything to do with Kenny, these people from Vibey were in these bright colored shirts. Like, you could spot them immediately. They answered every question. Everything that we did and booked was on time. There was no mess ups with our reservations. Like, I cannot speak highly enough about that company. They were amazing. Amazing. Everybody had an awesome time.
And you have to assume, too, just hearing you talk about it, Vegas is Vegas. I mean, they know how to do these things more so than if it just, popped up in Wichita, Kansas or something. I mean, Vegas, they've got this stuff down because that's what the whole city is about, is entertainment and the experience altogether. So that makes a lot of sense. But that's good to know. What was the name of the company again?
Vibey.
Do they do like other artists, do you think? Or okay.
Yeah. They do a lot of like, I don't know if they just do concerts, but they do a lot of things like that. I just got one the other day from, I want to say it was Thomas Rhett, maybe. I can't remember. They're starting to email me now about different things that they have coming out. But
VIBEE?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
And you mentioned other things that, like, Kenny had. What were those?
So aside from the show, then we bought the VIP concert and hotel package. So anybody could go to it. The VIP people had a little bit more perks, I would say, but they set up this, like, Kenny Chesney experience inside of the Venetian. And as a Kenny fan, I mean, they had everything from when he first started all the way until now of memorabilia. They had, like, handwritten lyrics. They had, his notes, his paper notes, like, from writing songs. They had videos playing. They had No Shoes Nation there broadcasting. They had a Guitars and Tiki Bars bar with the Blue Chair Bay rum that he owns. They had a huge apparel store that you could buy apparel there that wasn't necessarily sold at the Sphere, so different types of apparel and things like that. They had an old school photo booth that you could go in and take as many pictures as you wanted and have, the little Kenny Chesney logo at the end. I don't know. They just had so many things in there. And then also they had a separate room for the VIP that had, like, these photograph books, like scrapbooks from past concerts and basically, like, the whole season of the concerts and things like that. So, like, as a Kenny fan, if someone doesn't care, like, they would not think this is fun. But as a Kenny fan, like, seeing all that type of stuff, it was so freaking cool. And then they also had, and they had so there's an ice bar in Vegas, and then they converted that to a lot of Kenny stuff. We were not able to go to that, but I really wanted to. And then they also had at a different hotel a pool party. We were not able to go to that because it was a long distance compared to where we were at, but they had that too, and No Shoes Nation was there as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So maybe if you wanted to go just experience the Sphere, maybe seeing anybody there is one thing, but I mean, if it's somebody in particular like you, it sounds like it makes sense to buy the whole package.
Oh, 100%. I mean, even if you're not a massive fan, like, I would definitely buy it because I think that you save money, but you just get access to all of this stuff. Like, I remember going into that Kenny Chesney experience, like, room thing. When we first got there, we didn't know that that's what it was. And I'm like, why is there such a long line over there? I mean, it was like a mile plus inside of the hotel. And finally I realized, like, I started seeing all these Kenny Chesney signs on the wall, and I'm like, oh my God, is that the line to get in? But because we had VIP badges, we could go up to the front, and then we were in front of everybody and just walked up. So you didn't have to wait, like, hours to get into this thing. Anybody could go to it, but if you didn't have the VIP, you would have to wait, like, freaking forever. So I definitely think that whatever kind of packages they have, I would go for that because it's worth it.
It's Vegas. They may not even you may not even be able to buy just tickets to the Sphere. I mean, it sounds like they've got groups coming in here prepared for things like this. It may just all be packages, you know?
I think you can buy individual tickets because a lot of people were saying, like the ones that were going to multiple shows, they would buy the next night, like just off of Ticketmaster or something, because if it's not sold, tickets are typically really cheap. So you could just buy that, but I don't know why you would want to.
How many nights was he there? Do you remember? Is it like a month at a time, or they do a week at a time? Or
he's doing Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday shows, and then he started in like towards the end of May, and then this coming weekend is his last weekend.
Oh, okay. So it's a run, kind of like some of the other, what do they call them? The residencies. Yeah.
So overall, though, you're glad you went?
Oh my God, yes. Like I feel like if he doesn't do this again, it was 1,000% just a once in a lifetime experience, and I would have been crushed if I didn't take the opportunity to go to that, knowing whether or not he's going to do it again.
Yeah.
So if you had a choice, go to the Sphere again or see him at Arrowhead Stadium, you can only pick one. Which would you do?
Oh, like right now, I would say Arrowhead. Okay. I mean, just because I want to like really rock out whenever I'm at the show, and that was not how the other people wanted to do it at the Sphere. So
plus they'll let you tailgate at Arrowhead.
Yes,
so.
Yes.
That's fine. Well, cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. When you said you were going the other day, Liz and I were talking. We said we need to get her in here just to kind of, because I've seen pictures of the Sphere, but you don't really kind of know the rest of it. So that was a great inside look. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So there you go, a couple of country music, country concert-related things that we thought you, Clear 99 listeners, you country music fans, might be interested to hear. So we appreciate you taking the time to listen to it. We thank you for taking the time to search out Liz and Scotty's Poddy, however it is that you have found it. It had to take at least a little work. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate you putting in that work.
Yeah. If you want to hear more, just look for Clear 99 on demand wherever you get your podcasts. We're also available on the Clear 99 app, which is free and super simple to download. Or you can just go old school and go to our website, clear99.com.
Another fun little thing we've started within the last couple of months is TikTok Tuesday. If you'd like to join us for that, that's basically us just setting up the cameras here and live in the studio on Tuesdays, and we're live on TikTok, so you can just kind of have a little behind-the-scenes look at what we're doing here, and we have fun talking with the folks on TikTok as well. Find Liz at Lizzie Ledger, or you can find me on TikTok at MyUncleScotty45.
You can always catch us on the radio, too, weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10 on today's Best Country, Clear 99.
Good morning, Clear 99. You're the ninth caller.
Oh, thank you.
What's your name?
Chris.
All right, Chris. Do you like Warren Ziders?
Absolutely. We just got back from CMA Fest last week. We went to CMA Fest. He wasn't there. We're hoping to see him.
Ooh, okay. Now I got to ask you, what was the best part about CMA Fest?
Brooks and Dunn.
Oh, nice.
Rascal Flats.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah,
ding, ding,
I knew
ding.
it. I knew it.
You already got the tickets, Chris. You don't need to butter me up anymore.
Oh, okay.
You struck oil. Quit digging.
Oh, I know. I had to mention Rascal Flats. I knew Liz liked them.
Well, thanks, Chris.